Hi, this is Jeff, and I'm really excited to go ahead and get out on the water. It's in the mid-30s right now, so it's freezing, but it's nice and sunny, and I got a wetsuit. So I just wanted to show you a shot here of taking it off the stand and going ahead and loading it in the truck. It's real easy to do. I just undo the cover on the wing, on the lower part here, and there's a zipper on the other side that somewhere. Oh, let's see. Oh, it's over here. All right, so go ahead and slide that off. And this does not have the battery in it yet. I'll go ahead and slide it off the stand. It's 5 feet 6 inches long, so it fits in the back of the truck pretty well. Go ahead and set it down. All right, let's get to the lake. All right, so we're at the lake, and I wanted to show you how to get everything set up. So you just put the battery in here, and then there's a latch that you twist, so it firmly locks into place. And then I have my battery connector, and then I also have the data connector. So I'll go ahead and plug in the battery connector first. Lined up there, and then I'm going to unplug the cover for the battery. And it really is important to make sure the data connector, that you have the red dot lining up, because this is the most sensitive part with the pins. And so go ahead and plug it in there so it's all done. And then here's the on button. I'll go ahead and hit this once. I should hear a click once it engages. I don't know if you heard it. It's pretty small click, and then there it goes. And what I'll do is I'll go ahead and shut the compartment and lock it. Turn on the battery controller. It says 99% battery life, so that's good. It tells you that. And then I'll go ahead and just give it a little throttle, make sure it's working here back at the propeller. Yep, and you can see it engaging. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is turn the battery controller off until I get in the water, so that I don't accidentally hit or make the propeller go. So let's get in the water. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and go out to where I'm at least about chest deep, turn on my controller, and get going. Woohoo!
Wipeout! Woo! Ah! Mm.
All right, I just got back from my ride, so let's come on in. I just put the lift efoil up here on the stand that I made for it, and I just wanted to go over my experience so far in riding the board. It's incredible. It's like a flying magic carpet. It really is amazing experience. But there's some pros and cons that I found with riding it. This is my second time riding it. First time I did not have a videographer here to help me with it. So yeah, just to go over the experience, I was able to stand up on the first time riding, but it was very, very hard for more than a few seconds. So really, the second ride just now is when I was able to really get up and ride it, standing up for, I'd say, the majority of the second half of it. But getting up is the really tricky part. And I want to walk you through what works for me, and it may be different for different people or different variations. But you know, you have to start laying down, get enough speed to where you can come up and kneel. I find that once I kneel, I need to make the board fairly stable so that the tip's not coming out too much. And then I go into a kneeling stance like this. It's a little, perhaps because of the wetsuit too, there's less dexterity. Hey Ranger, good dog, good dog. So I really had to ride like this for about 10 to 20 seconds, find the board stability again, and then get enough speed, maybe going 7 to 10 miles per hour, and then slowly bring my back foot up and just pivot a little bit to get a nice stance there. And when I did this, I also put my hands down to stabilize the board just ever so slightly while keeping a little bit of speed. And then once I found it to be stable, I came up in a stance. Now, right away what happened when I did this the first few times is that the board came out from underneath me and I went into the water. And so what I found is I really had to put my weight forward, really had to, and accelerate at the same time to get up again to maybe about 10 miles an hour and find this point of equilibrium where the board was stabilized. That might be accentuated because this is a 250 high aspect wing, which creates an incredible amount of lift. And I am a big guy, but nonetheless, I really had to push down on the board once I got it up just initially to create that stability. But once you're up, it's really easy to ride. I mean, it's obviously it takes some balance and whatnot, but it's fairly easy to carve. I was able to make fairly tight turns, working on the touch and goes where you come above the water, come down, come above the water, come down. But really, yeah, once you're up, it's a much smoother process. And it's just so much fun. I can't wait to get back out there. But just a couple other miscellaneous things, you know, want to make sure and wipe down the board. I don't rinse it off because it's a lake and it's a fairly clean lake. It's not a really gross one, so maybe I should wash it, but I'm not too worried about it. So this is all fresh water. Built this custom stand for it to house it, and then I'll also make sure and put the cover back on here once I'm done. But it is still wet, and so it is in the 30s here in Washington in January 2021 is when I'm taking this. And so I did install a 3,000 watt infrared heater. It gets about 700 degrees on the surface. It heats the surface of this, and it helps to accentuate the drying because this just will not dry out in this temperature. I also have just a battery powered fan that I got. You can also plug it in, but if I need to, just to help with drying it out, because I don't want this to get really damp for a long period of time. And you know, I went ahead and took the battery out. One thing I will note on the battery, the first time I rode it, it went to low power mode after it hit 10% almost immediately, which was a little precarious because I was a few hundred yards offshore. And so I was worried I wasn't going to make it, and it went into very low power mode, which is a separate mode. It makes you even go slower when I hit the last 50 yards or so, but I did make it back to shore. This time, what I found is that once I hit 10%, it didn't take very long for it to go to 5%, and it almost immediately after 5% went to low power. So my point in saying this is that once you're on the lower lower battery, it seems to jump to low power mode more quickly than if you're going from 70 to 60% or something like that. It also may have something to do with the fact that it's colder and that lithium-ion batteries don't perform as well in cold weather. I don't know, but the only other thing that I will note is that with the hand controller, the first time that I rode it, when I was not engaging the trigger, it was still ever so slightly engaging the motor. About a half-second clicks, like 1, 2, but it was very, very slow, which is not good because I was trying to get on the board and the motor was running. This time it didn't happen until the very end, and then it just started happening randomly. So I'm not sure if that's a glitch or something with the controller, but I'll talk to Lyft and figure that out. So yeah, a lot of fun to ride, and I'm stoked to get back out there. So if you have any questions, please leave them below or comments, and I'll see you on the next video. Thanks.